Happy Tuesday, everybody. Hope your day is off to a good start. We've had some sunshine at least to get the day started, and it's going to be, well, hopefully that you were able to enjoy during the morning hours. Meteorologist Jaret Lansford here, and we're going to talk how the rest of the day goes. We've got some changes that are underway at this time, and that's going to be impacting how the afternoon ends up. We've also got a bit of a warming trend as we make our way toward the weekend, generally, not every day warmer, but we'll take a closer look at the details. And of course, everyone's kind of starting to think ahead to the Thanksgiving travels time frame, and we're going to talk about what to expect with that too, because there's some stuff you need to know about with that as you start to make those plans. Let's go ahead and start getting into the details. And you've seen the sunshine, now you're starting to see more cloud cover in place from our view at 144th and West Dodge. And we're just going to see more and more of that cloud cover over the next few hours. We've got a north breeze that's pretty steady. Temperatures at 43 degrees. We've thankfully gotten a little warming in over the last few hours because there's not a lot more to happen once those clouds really take over the next couple of hours. So there you can kind of see that line where we have the clouds is making its way into the metro. And if you are on the north side of those clouds, you've pretty much seen your warming mostly come to an end. Off to the south, you may get a little bit more warming down here, Shenandoah, Nebraska City, with the sunshine still around. But if you're at about I-80 and north and west, you're going to be socked in the clouds for the rest of the day. And what that means for you, pretty flat line as far as the temperatures are concerned. We'll peak mid to upper 40s for the rest of the day. Thankfully, the winds won't be too strong for the rest of the day. We'll just have a little bit of a breeze. It's out of the north, though, so it won't really help how it feels out there. Dress warm if you're going to be out and about for the rest of the day. Here's how things go, and we're starting off here in the afternoon with that cloud cover. Really kind of sitting where it's at and just kind of slowly advancing a little bit further south and east. We'll have the clouds a firm presence for the rest of the day. Even into the evening, you head into the overnight. I want you to kind of pay attention to the pattern of what's going on here. You're going to see some kind of duller gray colors. That's some high cloud cover. That's going to have some motion to it, kind of moving in this direction. Meanwhile, as we're looking right around this area, you can kind of see the whitish gray that's in place. That's more of some low-level cloud cover and even some fog that may develop here as we get into the overnight. So there you can kind of see the motion of those higher clouds and then that deck of low clouds and even some fog that is in place. So as we start off our Wednesday, I want to first alert you that that could be an impact for you for that morning drive, that we have some areas of fog that could be around. And I think that's especially true if you're east of the Missouri River. Some of our Iowa towns may start off with some of that fog being in place. May take a little bit to get rid of that as well. And that is kind of a wild card for how the rest of our Wednesday goes, is how long do those clouds and the fog stay in place in the morning? Because we're in the time frame where a lot of our warming happens during those morning hours. So if you have anything like that that's in place, that can really kind of stall us out as far as our potential. So you do see that eventually clears out. We start to pull in some higher cloud cover in the afternoon too. So there's going to be some cloud cover around. And that's why if you were watching this morning, the temperature for tomorrow has been reduced in our forecast a little bit because of those two factors with that morning cloud cover and fog and then the high cloud cover pushing in during the afternoon. So likely more of a 54-degree high where we end up for our Wednesday. Now, the good news is it's a generally warming trend that we see as we head through into the weekend. We get a little bit of a small step backward there on Friday with a system that's around. We'll look a little closer at what that entails here in just a bit. But Thursday is definitely the best day of the week, right near 60 degrees. We'll have some sunshine amongst a few clouds. It'll be pretty pleasant for Thursday afternoon. So there's a good opportunity if you still are looking for a day to maybe get the Christmas lights up, any decorations, anything along those lines. Thursday looks pretty good, and really the weekend does too. Then kind of get a little bit of a teaser there with Saturday at 60 degrees. We'll have that full weekend forecast in just a bit. But let's talk more about that system that moves its way in late Thursday night into Friday morning. And this was, if you joined me here yesterday for our live stream, We're looking at that getting up to around I-80 with some showers. The trend has been to pull that further south. And so you're going to notice here as I march through our Friday, the rain is mostly around the Kansas border with its furthest lift northward. It's going to be a struggle to get it much more north than that. So in the metro, still holding on to a chance that we bring a few showers in the morning hours, but it looks like we'll likely stay mainly dry for the rest of our Friday. And even the top side of this, I'm not going to be surprised if there's a little more sunshine if you are north of I-80. And that could kind of result in a variance in our high temperatures on Friday. We have pushed the highs in the metro up to 51. We were looking at 40s. I think with a little more sunshine breaking through and less rain around, that should help us warm more. So it may be more 50s north of I-80 and may be closer to 50 degrees for a high if you're south of I-80. So that's the latest with that system. There's that full weekend forecast. Could get a little bit of a breeze for Saturday alongside that 60-degree high, but partly cloudy sky, right near 60 again on Sunday. The weekend looks really nice at this point. Friday is the worst day, and that's trending in a better direction. So outdoor plans, make them, enjoy them. It's going to be some great weather to try to take advantage of. This run of nice weather is going to be coming to an end at some point. So anytime we get these days, you want to make sure that you are taking advantage of them. All right, so let's talk a little longer term. I did mention the fact that we would be looking at some changes taking shape as we get into that time frame around Thanksgiving travel. A lot of people will be doing that this weekend. If you're doing that locally, you're in great shape. Nothing that will be a problem for that. Once we get into next week, things are trending busier. Let me show you what I mean. As we get into next week, you can see this big ridge that's in place through the weekend. That starts to break down. And you can see how we start to pull some of the colder air in with the grays and the white colors down into the middle of the country. And that really surges in as we get into that Wednesday, Thursday time frame. So Thanksgiving's trending towards some chilly weather, and especially after Thanksgiving, we're likely going to still have that cold air in place. Pretty strong signals that that takes effect right around the Thanksgiving holiday. Now, the uncertainties come in just when we end up seeing any kind of systems that would lead to that cold air coming in. A lot of times, in order for that cold air to flood in, there has to be kind of something that opens the gate. And a lot of times that comes in the form of a cold front that may have some precip alongside it. And the indications are a little bit spotty as far as just when that timing is. Also, we're still working on just how intense that cold ends up being. But I can tell you, the way it's looking right now, Thanksgiving is on the 10-day now, and we're going 40 degrees for a high right now. Definitely a little colder. There's a small chance that we have some precip around at this point, but that cold air is looking pretty likely the way things are looking at this point. We'll have that move in on Thanksgiving. We'll likely hold on to that into next week. So let me show you the 10-day in general so you can kind of get the scope of where things are looking. Pull myself off the screen here. Short term, some warming. May kind of struggle a little bit Wednesday with some of that morning cloud cover and fog. Hence the mid-50s now, but up near 60 for Thursday. Few showers south of I-80 and closer to the Kansas border, especially for our Friday. And then the weekend looking really nice for us. As we get into the next week, there's what I've been talking about with the trend toward things cooling down into the 40s. Wednesday at this point looks like maybe the most likely day that we see some precip, but again, that's kind of bouncing around on the models that we use to forecast. So sometime in that midweek time frame right around Thanksgiving travel. First alert to that being when we could see some precip move in, and then the cold air looking pretty slam dunk on the backside of that system, the way things appear right now. Something else I do want to touch on here. Let me just pull my graphics up here. I know there may be some of you who are heading to some college football games. So I want to get you that forecast. Okay, here we go. Got the Husker forecast here. Huskers playing 6 o'clock start, 6 o'clock Central Time. That game is in State College, Pennsylvania. They'll be taking on Penn State, and it'll be a chilly one. If you happen to be heading to that one, you are going to be in the 30s pretty much all game long, starting off mid-30s, cooling as the game goes on. It at least looks dry and shouldn't have a ton of wind, but that's going to be a day you want to dress warm if you're heading there out east. Overall, you'll notice here, as I pull in the other local college football games here for Iowa State and Iowa, they're both at home, and the forecast looks a lot nicer. A little bit of a breeze there in Ames. That game starts at 11 a.m. That wind will likely calm some as the game goes on, and will warm up through the 50s, have that sunshine in place. Pretty nice as they take on Kansas. And then Iowa hosting the Spartans of Michigan State. Pretty nice November weather. We're talking about low to mid-50s, not a ton of wind, sunshine, a lot to like about that one. So that's the outlook as far as the football games go. For the rest of the day today, we're seeing the cloud cover start to pull in. Expect it to be a rather gray and chilly afternoon, as we'll not really warm up all that much more with those clouds taking over, but we'll warm up more for the rest of the week. Today is the coldest day of the work week. Really nice weekend ahead, and then we'll continue to keep you posted on next week with that bigger cool down on the way. I think that'll do it for this live stream. Thanks for joining me for this. We'll be doing another live stream of the forecast later on in the afternoon. Until then, here at the top of the hour, join us for First Alert 6. Rusty will have the latest on what he's seeing. We'll have the latest news there as well. I'm going to leave you here with a camera view of what you're seeing further to the west in the metro and kind of give you an idea of where those clouds are, and here they come. They're on the way in.